Admiral Vex'thari stood on the command deck of his flagship, the Sovereign's Wrath, watching the blue marble spinning lazily below. Such a primitive little world. Such confidence in his superiority. The Kaltharian Empire had conquered 47 star systems in the past century, and this pathetic rock called Earth would be number 48. Admiral, his tactical officer, Commander Rilthok, approached with that insufferable swagger all Kaltharians possessed. The human governments are requesting negotiation. Vex'thari's mandibles clicked in what passed for laughter among his species. Negotiation? How quaint. Do they think their wooden spears and chemical propellants will somehow impress us? The holographic display showed Earth's military assets. Aircraft carriers. Nuclear submarines. Missile silos. Vex'thari had seen more threatening resistance from cave-dwelling primitives on Zirian Prime. Shall we begin the orbital bombardment, sir? Rilthok's 4 eyes gleamed with anticipation. Not yet, Commander. Let's give them a chance to surrender properly. Open a channel to their so-called United Nations. The main screen flickered to life, revealing a human female sitting at what appeared to be a negotiation table. She had short auburn hair, sharp green eyes, and wore a simple blue suit. The nameplate read, Ambassador Luna Martinez, Earth Defense Coalition. Vex'thari straightened his imposing 2.5-meter frame, his purple exoskeleton gleaming under the bridge lights. Time for the standard intimidation protocol. Greetings, primitive beings. I am Admiral Vex'thari of the Kaltharian Imperial Fleet. Your world now belongs to the Empire. You have exactly 1 rotation of your planet to surrender unconditionally, or we will reduce your cities to molten glass. The human female smiled. Actually smiled. Vex'thari's secondary brain struggled to process this unexpected response. Well, hello there, Admiral Vex whatever. That's quite the impressive speech. Did you practice that in front of a mirror? Because the dramatic pause before the molten glass was really something special. Several bridge officers exchanged confused glances. Commander Rilthok's mandibles twitched nervously. You mock me? Vex'thari's voice carried a dangerous edge. Mock? Oh no, Admiral. I'm genuinely impressed. Your empire must have conquered what, dozens of worlds? And you still use the same tired script? Surrender or die. Resistance is futile. Next you'll probably tell us about your superior technology and inevitable victory. Vex'thari's 4 arms clenched into fists. Our technology is superior. Our weapons can crack continents. Our shields can deflect your most powerful atomic weapons. Atomic weapons? Ambassador Martinez leaned back in her chair, still wearing that infuriating smile. Admiral, we stopped using atomic weapons for serious military applications about 50 years ago. But please, continue telling us about your impressive capabilities. You dare question the might of the Kaltharian Empire? Vex'thari roared, his voice echoing through the bridge. We have conquered civilizations that span multiple star systems. Have you now? And let me guess, they all rolled over and surrendered after your little speech, right? Commander Rilthok whispered urgently, Sir, perhaps we should simply begin the bombardment. No. Vex'thari snapped. This insolent creature will learn respect. He turned back to the screen. Human female, your species will kneel before the Empire. You will serve as laborers in our mining colonies. Your children will be educated in proper submission to their Kaltharian masters. The smile never left Martinez's face. Admiral, I have a counter-proposal. You are in no position to make proposals. How about this? You kneel first. The bridge fell silent. Even the soft humming of the ship's systems seemed to pause. Vex'thari's mandibles clicked rapidly, a sign of extreme agitation among his species. What did you say? I said, you kneel first. You and your entire fleet. Turn around, go home, and maybe we'll consider not turning your precious empire into a cautionary tale. Commander Rilthok stepped forward. Admiral, this human is clearly mentally defective. Their species must suffer from some form of cognitive disorder. Oh, we suffer from several disorders, actually, Martinez interrupted. Stubbornness. Creativity. An unfortunate tendency to bite back when threatened. But cognitive disorder? That's rich, coming from a species that apparently thinks intimidation speeches still work in the 32nd century. Vex'thari's exoskeleton began changing color, shifting from purple to a deep crimson. You have just signed your species' death warrant. Rilthok, prepare all weapons. Target their major population centers. Already done, sir. Shall I give the order to fire? Wait. Vex'thari held up one clawed hand. He wanted to savor this moment. Human Martinez, you have exactly 60 seconds to grovel for mercy. Perhaps if you beg properly, I will allow some of your kind to survive as servants. Martinez glanced at her wrist chronometer. 60 seconds? That's generous. Tell you what, Admiral. I'll give you 30 seconds to reconsider your life choices. My life choices? Vex'thari's voice cracked with indignation. Well, yes. See, you've made a rather significant error in judgment. You've assumed that because we appear primitive, we actually are primitive. You've confused peaceful with helpless. That's just poor intelligence gathering on your part. Our intelligence is flawless. We have studied your species for months. Months? Admiral, we've been studying you for 3 years. The color drained from Vex'thari's exoskeleton. Impossible. Our cloaking technology is superior. Yes, you mentioned that. Along with your weapons, your shields, and your general magnificence. But here's the thing about superior technology, Admiral. It only matters if you're actually superior. Commander Rilthok's tactical display began flashing red. Sir, I'm detecting unusual energy readings from the planet's surface. Define unusual, Vex'thari growled, his confidence beginning to waver. Massive power surges from locations not previously identified as military installations. Electromagnetic signatures unlike anything in our databases. Martinez's smile widened. Oh good, they're warming up. Admiral, you really should have done more research. Did you know that humans have this peculiar habit of hiding their best toys until company comes calling? Impossible. Our sensors would have detected any advanced weapons. Would they? Your sensors are calibrated to detect Kaltharian technology, Xerian plasma cannons, Vorthan energy shields. Things you understand. But human technology? Well, let's just say we took a slightly different approach to advancement. The tactical display showed red dots appearing across Earth's surface. Hundreds of them. Then thousands. What are those? Rilthok whispered. Those, Commander, are the reason your empire is about to become very interested in peace negotiations, Martinez replied cheerfully. Vex'thari stared at the display, his mind racing. Energy signatures that powerful should be impossible to hide. Should be, yes. But humans have this annoying tendency to ignore what should be possible. We prefer to focus on what actually works. Take our defense grid, for example. Completely quantum encrypted, phase-shifted, and operating on principles your science considers theoretical at best. You're bluffing. Am I? Commander Rilthok, would you be so kind as to scan the dark side of your moon? Rilthok's claws danced over his console. His 4 eyes widened in horror. Admiral, there's a structure there. Massive. How did we miss it? Because it wasn't there yesterday, Martinez said casually. We built it overnight. Amazing what you can accomplish when you're not limited by conventional thinking. Vex'thari felt his confidence crumbling like a sandcastle in a tsunami. This is impossible. There's that word again. Admiral, you really need to expand your vocabulary. Now, about that kneeling proposition, Admiral Vex'thari stared at the lunar structure in disbelief. The massive construct defied every law of physics his species understood. Sleek, angular, and radiating energy signatures that made his sensors scream warnings. How long has that been there? He demanded. Commander Rilthok's voice trembled. Sir, according to our continuous monitoring, it materialized in the last 8 hours. 8 hours? Vex'thari's mandibles clicked frantically. You cannot construct a battle station in 8 hours. Ambassador Martinez's laughter echoed through the bridge speakers. Oh Admiral, you really don't understand humans at all, do you? When we're properly motivated, 8 hours is practically an eternity. This is some sort of trick. Holographic projection. Feel free to scan it more thoroughly. I'll wait. Rilthok ran every sensor array at maximum power. His face gradually shifted from purple to pale green. Sir, it's real. Solid matter. And the energy output, it's reading higher than our entire fleet combined. Vex'thari felt his certainty evaporating like morning mist. Impossible. No civilization can achieve such rapid construction. There's that word again, Martinez sighed. Admiral, you keep using it, but I don't think it means what you think it means. Shall I explain how we managed this impossible feat? Yes. Well, since you asked so nicely. You see, while your empire was busy conquering primitives with intimidation speeches, we were developing something called modular quantum assembly. Think of it as extremely advanced building blocks that assemble themselves according to pre-programmed patterns. Vex'thari's secondary brain started processing the implications. Self-assembling technology on that scale would require massive computational power? Yes. Quantum processors beyond your current understanding? Absolutely. The ability to manipulate matter at the subatomic level? Obviously. Commander Rilthok pulled up additional scans. Admiral, I'm detecting similar energy signatures at the Lagrange points. And, oh no. What now? Cloaking fields are dropping all around the solar system. Sir, there are installations everywhere. How many ships do they have hidden out there? Martinez's voice carried a hint of amusement. Ships? Oh Commander, you're still thinking conventionally. We don't need ships. The main display updated, showing dozens of space-based platforms materializing from stealth fields. Each one bristled with weapons that Vex'thari's tactical computers couldn't identify. What are those energy readings? Rilthok whispered. Those would be our gravity manipulation arrays. Nasty little things, really. They can create localized gravitational fields strong enough to compress your ships into very expensive paperweights. Vex'thari's 4 arms trembled. Gravity manipulation is theoretical. Our greatest scientists have barely scratched the surface of such technology. Theoretical for you, perhaps. But then again, your greatest scientists probably never had to deal with humans threatening to turn their home into molten glass. Remarkable how that sort of motivation accelerates research and development. The tactical display showed more red signatures appearing throughout the solar system. Asteroid mining facilities revealing themselves as disguised weapons platforms. Space elevators that weren't quite what they seemed. Even the International Space Station was radiating energy signatures that suggested significant modifications. How long? Vex'thari's voice barely registered above a whisper. How long have you been preparing for this? Admiral, humanity has been preparing for hostile first contact since we first looked up at the stars and wondered what was out there. The only real question was whether you'd be friends or enemies. Your opening speech answered that rather definitively. Commander Rilthok's console erupted in alarms. Sir. I'm detecting massive power buildup from all human installations. They're targeting our fleet. Wait! Vex'thari shouted. We can negotiate. There must be terms we can reach. Martinez leaned forward slightly. Oh? Now you want to negotiate? How refreshing. What exactly are you offering, Admiral? Safe passage. We will leave your system immediately and never return. Let me think about that proposal. She paused dramatically. No. What do you mean, no? I mean your offer is rejected. You see, Admiral, you made a rather significant mistake when you decided to threaten humanity. You assumed we'd be grateful for the opportunity to surrender. Instead, you've given us something we've been lacking for quite some time. Which is a common enemy. Do you have any idea how difficult it is to get humans to agree on anything? We've been fighting each other for millennia over resources, territory, ideology. But nothing unites humanity quite like an external threat. Vex'thari watched helplessly as more human installations revealed themselves. The supposedly primitive planet below was practically bristling with defensive systems. Your terms then, he said through gritted mandibles. My terms are simple, Admiral. You're going to send a message to your empire. You're going to tell them that Earth is now under human protection, and any Kaltharian ship that enters this system without permission will be dealt with accordingly. They'll never believe such a report. Won't they? Let me help make it more convincing. Martinez gestured off-screen. Suddenly, every human installation powered up simultaneously. The energy reading spiked so high that Rilthok's console briefly overloaded. When the sensors recalibrated, they showed energy signatures that dwarfed anything in the Kaltharian arsenal. Sweet stars, Rilthok breathed. Sir, if they fired those weapons at us, we'd be vaporized before we could raise shields, Vex'thari finished. Correct. Very good, Admiral. You're learning. Martinez's tone was mockingly cheerful. Now, here's what's going to happen. You're going to return to Kaltharian space and inform your superiors that humanity is not interested in joining their little empire. You're going to recommend they find other targets for their expansion. Preferably ones that don't bite back. And if we refuse? Then you'll provide an excellent demonstration of human defensive capabilities. I'm sure the wreckage of your fleet will make a lovely addition to our asteroid belt. Vex'thari looked around his bridge. Every officer was staring at him, waiting for orders that could determine whether they lived or died. The pride of the Kaltharian Empire had been reduced to begging for mercy from a species they'd considered primitives just hours earlier. Very well, he said finally. We accept your terms. Excellent. Oh, and Admiral? One more thing. Yes? The next time your empire considers invading someone, you might want to do better research. Just a friendly suggestion from one professional to another. As Vex'thari's fleet began its retreat, he couldn't help but wonder how many other supposedly primitive worlds might have similar surprises waiting. The Kaltharian Empire had built its reputation on intimidating lesser species into submission. But humans had just demonstrated that sometimes the lesser species bite back. Commander Rilthok, he said quietly. Yes, sir. When we return home, I want you to personally oversee a complete revision of our intelligence-gathering protocols. Of course, sir. Any particular focus? Vex'thari watched Earth shrinking in the viewport, its blue surface still looking deceptively peaceful. Yes. Never again assume that primitive means helpless. And never, ever underestimate a species that greets threats with laughter. As the last Kaltharian ship disappeared into hyperspace, Ambassador Martinez finally allowed her smile to fade. She turned to the camera crew that had been recording everything. Did you get all that? Every word, Madam Ambassador. Good. Send copies to every major government and military installation on Earth. And make sure the quantum communications array broadcasts it to our deep space monitoring stations. Yes, ma'am. Any particular message for the colonies? Martinez's smile returned, sharper than before. Tell them the home defense test was a complete success. And remind them that any other uninvited guests will receive the same warm welcome. The galaxy had just learned a valuable lesson about humanity. Some species kneel when threatened. Others build weapons that bend the laws of physics and serve them with a side of sarcasm. The Kaltharian Empire had expected Earth to kneel. Instead, they just discovered that humans preferred to stand tall and make their enemies kneel first.